guys, we're back. Should I turn off this light? There we go, a little bit better. No, I actually kind of like that bright light there on me. Okay, cool. Guys, super early in the morning once again. We're live, and the markets have been exuberant lately, to say the least.
Yeah. They've been slow, bro. It's been slow market. Yeah.
Today seems a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But recently, I think it's because of the reflection on, everything that's been going on. It's been an absolute, carnival out there with Trump, with, gold prices, with silver, with, Bitcoin's, funny enough, is the most boring asset of the year so far, I think. and usually crypto is the hype machine. Now, guys, once again, 50K Maven challenge for the best question. So you can post your questions on YouTube or X. We can see them both. I'm just going to be reading along, and we'll read out some of them as we go. But today we had a guest, Louise. She's our on staff psychologist. We were going to bring her on, but she got a little power outage over there, so we're not going to force her to go to a cafe and try to get some crappy internet somewhere. We're just going to live trade. We'll bring her on in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And let's look at the market. James, anything on the open for you?
So I actually haven't executed today. I just got off my live stream now. I must say I like the shorts, bro, off the level, but because we're moving higher, I didn't just want to blindly fade it. I did trade the DAX in the London session. I had the nice shorts on the DAX. So if you go over to the DAX, I can also bring my screen up as well. But yeah, I had some nice shorts on the DAX on the opening range low break this morning. So that was pretty nice and put me up quite nicely. So I'll have a prop firm payout coming out soon, decent amount. So yeah, I can't complain right now, but the longs have just been grinding higher, and I don't particularly like this type of price action. So I just stayed flat.
Yeah, if you're looking at something like you're talking about the NASDAQ?
NASDAQ, yes. Yes.
If you're looking at something like NASDAQ, you can see, if you're zooming out, this is what James was talking about, guys. The NASDAQ loves to go up, and it's been since freaking end of October, basically, maybe even before. It hasn't done anything. This is, if you invested in the NASDAQ, 4 or 5 months ago, you'd make only 1 or 2% here. So it's pretty boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I don't feel the need to trade every single day, bro. Like, I've got other things going in my life as well that, like, I'm taking care of and stuff like that. Like, if I don't find a trade, I don't feel the need to actually click the button. So
yeah, that's it's a similar approach I'm coming into 2026 with, is a much more passive approach as well, and it's been doing me absolute wonders. We've brought a 5K account up to nearly just under $9,000 now, so far this year. Which, you guys, if you're watching at home, that's a very, very rare thing. To nearly double your accounts in a month or two it's nearly impossible under most conditions. Now, the reason why that is possible is it's simply because of gold, guys. Right? This gold rip, if you got into that trade, we have a couple gold trades that we had running here. And currently I'm flat on gold just because of a couple of reasons we can talk about. But that gold trade, 12% in itself, and then you leverage it 2x, right? And then you have another trade here earlier, a couple of scalps, right? And some investments that are doing pretty well as well.
Sure. Yeah, and I enjoy trading I'll trade an aggressive personal account as well. I think I started on 10K. I think I'm up to about 18,000 as well on that aggressive personal account.
So you're basically dead on doing exactly what I'm doing, but with twice the size.
Exactly. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, funny enough.
It's I have like a slow account where I'm literally just looking to make like 3 to 5% a month, and I got this aggressive account that I every single month 10K balance, and I withdraw anything over it. That's my plan with it.
So so at the end of the month, you're going to witdraw $8,000 and then go back to 10?
If I'm up $8,000. Yeah.
That's an interesting prospect. And then that way, that could be your daily bread and butter, right?
Yeah, well, I'm exactly like the daily bread for paying like expenses and stuff like that,
Yeah, that's a good route, like, especially if you're not using prop firms, right? Because then
Yeah.
you realistically would only need, like, 10 grand or whatever it is. Like, a lot of people, 10 grand's a lot of money for them, but, extrapolate to whatever value that is in your own home currency.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'm also taking money off the table, so it's like I'm playing with house money then at the end of the day.
Yeah, you take out 10 grand and you have 10 grand sitting there. You can't really lose at that point, right?
No, well, you'll be even if I blow the account, I'll be net even.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, how much leverage are you able to get on that account?
On that account, it's 1 to 500.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, see, that's interesting. With this account, I think they only let me do either 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, I can't remember which one.
Interesting. Yeah, I
So
think it's probably the regulations and that, but it's not like
yeah,
I'm using the whole leverage of the account. Like probably on the 10 grand, I'm using like 2 grand to 1 to 2 grand per trade.
yeah,
Between 500 and 2 grand of risk per trade.
interesting. Yeah, so it ends up being a similar sort of thing, right? So
Yeah,
if you're only using 10% of the account, then, the leverage, like, I'm using the entire account, right? But the
sure.
leverage of, 500 and then you divide it by 10, you're only getting a 50 to 1 sort of thing, right?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean the markets to start the year were pretty nice, bro. They have slowed down a little bit. Like even Nasdaq's opening range today was not, massive. It was 90 points. I have seen it where it's been like 200 points.
Yeah. The Nasdaq today, it's coming up a little bit. I've been trading the Dow recently, which is an interesting new thing for me,
Yeah,
just because that it's a small account that we're trading, and the Dow has very low margin requirements, which is really, really awesome. So it allows
sure.
me to trade a little bit more freely than the Nasdaq is very volatile, right?
Yeah,
This Nasdaq, you can see we're definitely targeting new highs here after those wicks on those bottoms. So it looks like we're going to shoot for that new high, and we'll have to watch this reaction off this big yellow line here to see, hey, are we going to be able to actually surpass it this week? And if we do surpass it and we get a nice clean close above that, probably we're going to continue back up and go back into the trend. Now, interestingly enough, like, the fundamental side of the world, I think, is leaning a little bit away from stocks. I think with this impending, all the drama with Trump, the invasions, um, the U.S. economy might not be growing as much now as it was in the past. The tech stocks, meaning AI stocks, I'm hearing a little bit of word that people are discovering that, hey, these AI companies aren't actually making very much money. So people are starting to pull out a little bit. And I think that's what we're seeing is that uncertainty. There's a lot of exuberance in the market, but people are saying, hey, this actually might not be sustainable. And they're switched over
yeah,
to
like an
gold,
AI bubble. Yeah,
right? So they switched over to gold, a little bit safer. That's why gold's pumping. That's why silver's pumping. Now, I want to show you and the audience here something actually kind of interesting is if you look at the volatility index of, and I was talking about this on my stream too, of gold, this is some of the highest that gold ever gets on the volatility index. And what do we know about the volatility? Do you ever watch the VIX?
I do watch the VIX quite often. Yeah, I use them in my trading.
Yeah, so same thing with gold. This is the gold volatility index, and it's incredibly high. And what does an incredibly high spike tell us?
Yeah, well, volumes coming in as well as stocks could go down.
Yeah, I mean, so this one would be gold, right? Because it's the gold index, right?
Oh,
So
gold volatility
yeah,
index.
so
Yeah,
if the gold volatility index is spiking, that means that we just had a massive rally or massive drop, and that's usually cause for a change of trend, right? That
sure.
usually there's a massive spike, either exuberance in the market or panic, and everyone's selling off, and then people buy or sell the fear and greed, right? And that's generally what happens. And if you line these up to what happens in the market, whenever it spikes, it's usually a shift, right? So I'm actually getting out of gold more or less until this comes down. Now the VIX looks relatively normal, but you can see again, it's the same sort of thing. Every time those spike, comes straight back down, and then the market shifts direction. Now I want to show you another one here, silver. volatility
Yeah,
index.
geez, silver's down 5% today.
Have you ever looked at the silver volatility index?
No.
No. This is cool.
Compared to gold, is that what it is?
No, this is just the volatility of
Oh, just the
silver.
volatility index of silver. Sure.
So, and just so you know, this is a misprint. This big candle here, this is a misprint. There was actually no volatility. I think it was actually just like there was a weird spike or something. It didn't actually go that high. There was no volatility on this day. I looked at it. So this is the highest silver volatility has ever been in the history of ever.
That's crazy, yeah.
If you guys are FOMOing into silver right now, I want to say with a a grain of salt here, go in with caution. This looks like a meme coin to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's literally yesterday dropped 10% in the space of 2 hours, bro, after the pump. If you look at silver yesterday from the highs to the lows.
Let's look at yesterday. What do you think is going to happen with silver? If you just had to say gut intuition, you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, gut intuition. I'd say we need a pullback, bro. But I'd go in very small on that. I'd have stop at the high, and I'd think of a pullback. But I have seen some big players as well, institutions shorting it as well. I think they placed it last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's this does look like it's kind of doing some sort of top sort of thing here. We've re-entered that range. A really good chance that we do take a decent pullback here, considering yesterday's wick. Like, the pullback doesn't necessarily mean that this rally is over. We could literally just be pulling back to the $100, just sub $100 range.
Yeah, sub 100. Yeah, it's at 109 at the moment. But I mean, if you are shorting, you got to short with caution, right? In these type of markets, because you can get blown out pretty quickly.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't even advise anyone to be shorting this.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at that. It's just going parabolic, bro.
Yeah. I don't understand. In the same way you don't want to catch a falling knife. If markets are crashing, you let it crash until it's done.
Yeah.
Right. And in no way does this tell me that this is done yet. Until we break some sort of, like, until we get a decent close on a weekly, right, and it comes way back down here or something, then we can short it. But I heard TD Bank actually tried to take out a short, and at like 70, like here.
Jeez.
And
yeah, well, they got smoked.
Yeah, for sure. They might be getting smoked.
I also, like, to the viewers as well, I think, like, I don't know enough about silver to be trading it. So my advice to the traders is trade what you know as well. Like, with all the speculation in silver and gold and that, trade what you know. Trade what you're good at.
Yeah.
It's the same as, like, what I'm trying to stick. I know indexes and stocks well, bro. That's what I'm trying to. That's why I'll make my money,
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm seeing with the metals right now is they look the exact same as Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And I know how to trade Bitcoin. So what's funny is, hey, trade what you know, right? I agree with that completely, but this is Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know, I've been doing Bitcoin for a decade. I know Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's not Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's doing its bear market stuff. I don't want to be involved with it, right? So I might as well go into the crypto world and start scalping up gold while it's ripping and looking exactly like Bitcoin, right? If you look out at the monthly, like, this looks, let me look at gold actually from longer time frames. You can see like
the Dow was busy pumping now as well off the lows. United Healthcare was down 18% today. I was watching that. That's what caused the sell-off on the Dow, because the Dow is down today, but Nasdaq and ES are obviously way up. But
yeah, I noticed now. I do have actually a long on a, you can see on a Maven funded account here right now on the Dow. We did long on the open, and with a stop below there. So I don't know if you've done any trading or you're looking at any trades right now, but I think the Dow is going to be coming back up now.
Yeah, I was watching it. It's off the where was it? The Tuesday Monday's open price as well.
Yeah, we've had a nice regain here.
Yeah.
You know, if we can, let me just bring this up to a higher time frame, right? If we can close the hourly back nicely up in this range, then I fully expect us to go for those tops once
Yeah,
again.
you see that Monday's open price on the Dow as well. That weekly open price
Mondays open on
on the Dow.
all right,
Yeah, we can.
like in the Asia Open.
Yeah, like at 49,160 kind of.
Yeah, down the kind of the current price area.
Yeah, exactly.
Just below the current price. Yeah, that's easily, you know, what they were coming for is that weekly open once again, triggering some orders to be filled, and then reversing back down. Now, I think that London move was a complete fake out, right? And then the Dow is going to come straight back up, similar to match the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's absolutely mooning right now.
Yeah, Nasdaq's up 1% today.
Nice. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple questions here.
Yeah,
And then
let's see what questions. What questions do you guys have in the chat?
I sent you one here. It's how do you know when a losing streak is just variance versus you being off your A game?
That's an interesting one. I would say personally for me, most of the time it's going to be me off my A game. Like I know my system and how I trade. Personally for me, it's when I'm doing some dumb stuff. That's dumb money hunter stuff.
Yeah.
When it's not when I'm off it. So I believe personally that like if you can be on your A game all the time, which is obviously impossible because you're not going to be waking up the same every single day. You can actually win at a high frequency. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like that. I like that you did say that because it did put a little bit of a thought in my head too. Is once you get so good and you understand what's going on in the market, there is no variance, right? It's you being off your game and you just assume that, right? But I think the guy's asking is, hey, what if I'm not that good? What if I've not been doing this for a decade and I'm still kind of on that hit or miss sort of thing? And I think he's basically asking a different question than what we're answering is how do you know that it's you messing up and not the strategy that's wrong? I think is what he might be asking.
Sure. Well, you got to look at it objectively. Are you over trading? Are you oversizing? Are you taking entries prematurely? Are you trading a discretional system? If you are, then it probably is yourself. If you're trading fully mechanical, which I don't trade, I love trading discretionary.
Yeah.
Then that will obviously be the system. But I think if you are new to trading and you haven't I think you got to test out different strategies as well. Like if you've been trying something for like 6 months and you aren't seeing any progress, maybe go try something else. I think you got to be willing. I still take different courses and stuff like that. Not that particularly I always use them, but it just opens my mind to different ways of seeing things.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of issues with this sort of question actually that are popping into my head while we're discussing it because there's a lot of problems that could be arising. The one is, hey, your strategy might only work in certain market conditions, right?
Correct.
And I don't like strategies like that. If the market conditions have changed, that's another factor to look at, right? Hey, maybe your strategy only works when markets go up. That's not a very good strategy, right? That's you buying, right? That's not you really trading, right? So
no,
but otherwise, one of my answers here would be, if you are doing the mechanical system, you know what your win rate is, right? And I don't think that there's enough variance in trading for you to suddenly have a week where you're winning 30% instead of 60%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I unless you're only taking 2 trades a week, right? If you're taking 10, 12 trades a week, I don't think there's any situation where you're gonna have 2 winners that week, and then most of the time you have 10 winners. The variance is so small because realistically, a trading strategy works the same every day, right? and maybe one day it's different, right? But it's not going to be different for 5 days in a row, right? Does this make sense? I think the variant basically, I think the variance is so negligible, and people overestimate, you know, the range in which how well their strategy can work. And I think basically, if your strategy is not working every week, it's not a working strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a thought process on this kind of like,
Yeah.
this is what's helped me in my own trading. Have one thing that you're working on every single week, right? Like for me this week, it's actually to trade smaller. The market volatility is dialed down a little bit. The VIX is trading underneath 19. I personally do better when the VIX is trading above 19. I'm talking about the VIX index, stock market
Yeah.
index. And I trade better when I give myself more leeway in my trades. I've taken what you do in your trading as well, Hunter, where sometimes I dollar cost average. Like if I'm buying off a low or selling off a high, I'll take a position and then look to add in. But if you go too big on the first position, you kind of put yourself in a bit of a pickle because now you're in too big on that original size, you know?
Yeah, that was something I used to really like doing, is DCAing into my trade, and that was a large portion of my strategy of dumb money concepts I was teaching, was finding a range and then adding all within that range. Now, recently, it's actually, I've kind of changed that. Unless I'm just investing, I'm not actually DCAing anymore. And because of that reason you kind of just said, where hey, sometimes I over risk immediately, right? And then I regret it because I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
now I need to doubly down
We need
here."
to double the size on this
Yeah,
on the average in trade. Yeah.
yeah, and I was finding what it allowed me to do was, hey, win a lot, right? I would win always pretty much, but when I
Sure.
lost, it
It
really
knocks
hurt
you.
my ego. It was really difficult and painful because, hey, you actually, instead of losing 1 trade, you actually lost 3 trades, right?
Correct. Yeah,
So
no, for sure. It does knock you a little bit. I agree. It works well on the days where it fires, but on the days where markets do like maybe take a sharp turn against you, can beat you up.
yeah, it's fantastic in trending markets and investments, right? Like if you're looking at the Nasdaq, for example, right, and you're just DCAing in on these higher time frames, oh, you're gonna do gravy, right? Because
Yeah,
you're not gonna know like a lot of these spikes spike down so deep, right, and then they just rip straight back up. It's gonna be pretty rare in the Nasdaq that you're actually gonna be like really messed, but it always just goes up, right? So
yeah,
something like that, it's a great strategy. You can just DCA in, right?
yeah. So someone's asking a question. Yeah, I think it's exactly what
Yeah.
I'm busy working on at the moment. It says, "Whoops, where is it here? What changes do you make to position sizing or execution when volatility expands beyond your tested conditions?" So as I said, like for me, I do well when the VIX is above 19. It's dropped a little bit below that, and I don't particularly do well in markets like this. Like I like fading moves sometimes, like when we move up to a high, and then I look to trade back towards the mean. Um, and when markets aren't giving me those opportunities, I need to size down because it's not in my favor. So I think the biggest thing about discretional trading is that you can change everything at the drop of a hat. For example, like if markets are in your favor, you can up your size. Markets aren't, you can decrease your size. And I think that is the big thing about, I think what I do well is I capitalize when markets are hot. Like the start of the year, 16th of Jan, we dropped down. I caught some of that move down on the NASDAQ. And then on the bounce play back up, I caught some of that move
It's
as
fun.
well.
Yeah.
And that's what made me on that aggressive account get up 80% on it,
Yeah.
right?
It's funny enough, I think I did the exact same thing, but I did the QQQ and then I did gold as
Sure.
well. The exactly the 2 things, there was a couple dips, early this year or something, right? And, just buy those and let it rip back up.
Exactly. Yeah. I will say I did see a lot of the guys. Also, I will say this: what you trade is as important as how you trade. I will say that if a lot of traders are struggling to trade currency pairs and you aren't seeing progress, have a look at indexes. Ha,
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. I just see too many guys struggling trade. Like I got on a call with one of my friends. He's a good mate of mine. and he's been like at it for like 3 years and he's seeing no progress, but he just trades euro dollar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, euro dollar is, no offense, but it's a pretty crap instrument to trade. Like, it's not fantastic.
Yeah. I don't understand it, honestly.
Well, imagine saying you're a trader, but you only look at euro dollar. But what happens if euro dollar is moving in a tight range every single day, but Tesla's moving higher, Nvidia's ripping, whatever it is. There's so many better opportunities. You can be a great trader, but if you're trading a crappy asset, you're not going to do well.
Yeah, like you can see here, I used to trade the euro dollar.
I used to trade currencies, bro. I'm not. That's why I can say it. I know some people get quite sensitive about it, but I used to trade currencies.
Exactly. Like this is what I'm a New York trader, right? And if you're looking at these green boxes, you can see that's not really much going on in the New York session. This does nothing that day. This day again did nothing, right? This day just faked you out twice, right? Okay, there you go. You got a trending day. Okay, there's so many days in the forex world where there's a massive spike, there's a massive fake out. Basically, the banks open, they do their trades, and then they do really long term stuff, right? It's pretty rare that day traders are touching this stuff successfully, right? This is more of a institutional positioning because they move so very little, right? And that's why you have to use such insane leverage for these things sometimes, right? Because these moves are pennies, literal pennies, right? And when I switched to the Nasdaq too, I did significantly better because hey, guess what? Like these things go up, your money goes up with it, right? And worst case scenario is you just kind of hold the trade a little bit longer and it'll go up eventually, right?
Sure.
It makes it a lot less stressful. Now,
yeah, no, I agreed with that. See, then ES is just sparking back up to highs. Nasdaq as well, trading at the highs. YM's got that little bit of a bounce now. We're back above opening range high now
yeah,
too. That's quite a big move off the lows. That's a 200-point move, bro.
yeah, that's why I kind of this was exactly what I was expecting. I did mention it on stream, and I'm going to tell you guys why this Dow trade seemed like a pretty good buy to me. Now it's not over yet, but let's look at this. And why did I put my stop loss down here? Right, you can see on my chart here. I have this is just that personal 5K account, right, and then I've got this Maven funded account. I'm going to go on TradingView just because it's a little bit easier, but the Maven one's there behind it, just so you can see a little bit easier, right? So what I saw was, hey, yesterday, okay, wait, first of all, if we're looking at the weekly here, we can see this really awesome wick on last week, right? After trying to enter into these zones. So I was like, okay, really, really bullish wick at the end of the week of last week. So I think that's going to cause us to go for a new high, right? So overall, this is kind of my idea is that trade setup. We're going to be hitting a new high on the Dow, right? And then I jumped into the daily, and you can see that, hey, yesterday we came down and then we closed back within kind of all this range, okay? So I figured at some point today, we're going to come back down, we're going to fill some orders, right? And then we're going to go for that new high, right? So how did I figure that, hey, maybe it'll actually come down? Well, there's an untested level right there, right? And the level that I didn't want to get below was actually right here because that's where we re-entered that zone. Now, this is just teaching you guys a little bit here. Hopefully it does help. So I just put a stop loss below that level. That's simple, right?
Yeah.
Give it a slight.
Yeah, you want your stop to be, you're basically putting your stop where if it came lower, it's invalidated. Basically, the market would want to shove lower.
Exactly. My logic is very, very easy. Hey, we regained this level, so I don't want to get below the move that brought us there, right?
Yeah. I'll say this as well, Hunter. I don't know what your thoughts on this. Maybe you disagree with it, but I think some traders struggle because they go with too tight of stops. And because they're looking for massive RR trades, and because their stops are too tight, they get taken up before the trade even moves in the direction.
Yeah, that's it's actually something that, hey, I would prefer to win more, right, and then just have 1-to-1 sort of thing. I would never want somebody to shoot for more than So you can see this trade setup here. This idea is a 5.48 R ratio, right?
Sure.
I mean, here, actually, where I entered, okay, you can see that, hey, this is it says like 3R or whatever, right? And shoot for the new high, 2.7, right? I actually don't
Yeah.
want to shoot for that. I like to just balance it right around 1 to 1.5, right? And then if it's something like 2 to 3, what I'll do is I'll just widen my stop or bring
Yeah.
because I don't want like these crazy gambling sort of style of trading. I want to make my money each day. Hey, that's one trade, boom, $200, great. If you make
Exactly.
one trade per day, $200, you don't need to work a job.
Yeah, dude. I mean, literally, bro. I mean, people. Yeah, I mean, if you make 200, what's that? $200 a day times
Mhm.
22 trading days. That's $4,000 in the month, bro. Over $4,000 in the month.
Let's actually, this is a really good point because that goes back to variance. Remember that first question?
Yeah.
Hey, how do you know you're off your A game, and how do you know that it's just variance? Well, if you change your strategy to be a 1 to 2R setup maximum, right? I would even maybe advise sometimes 0.5, 0.6R setups, right? Those are fine because you're
Sure.
going to win so often. And then variance is not a thing at all, right? If you're able to get yourself at a 90% strike rate, and then 1 week you come in and you have a 50% strike rate, well, that's you, obviously, right? It's so incredibly rare that 90% strike rate jumps down half, right?
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't. It
So,
shouldn't.
doing this sort of trading strategy allows you to be more confident in what's going on in the market and what's going on in your brain. So you don't have to question it anymore, right? So this guy Vincent that asked us earlier, how do you know you're being off your game? Well, freaking change it so that you can't be off your game. Or sorry, you can't be variance, and it has to be your game that's causing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pumping nicely. Yeah, this is gonna go
Stop
all the way
going.
back up to those highs.
Yeah. Well,
Hopefully,
yeah.
hopefully everyone's got their Maven account at home as well, trading alongside of us, making some money on the Dow there. Right,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Nice. Any other questions in the chat? Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Mm,
How can a trader know when he should take a break from trading? Right. Um, Yeah, here's my thought, and I love questions like this because, you know, I assume people are asking for, like, a logical answer, right? They're like, "Okay, when this amount of money does something, I've taken
yeah.
this many trades per day, or I've lost this amount," or whatever, right? I don't think that's how you should know when to take a break. I think trading starts as a logical thing. Hey, I need to look at the chart. I need to find a strategy, and this is the profit I'm going to make. Logical, step by step, procedural, right? Very masculine energy, right? But then once you devise a system that works for you, you have to be more feminine energy, right? You have to do both. And the feminine energy I'm talking about is being in tune with your emotions, right? It's tracking how you're reacting to things, right? That's a feminine trait. Men don't do that as much. Women track their emotions much more, right? So for you to be a really good trader, you need to be more like a woman, right? A lot of guys at home are gonna laugh, right? Because what you
Sure.
need to do is you need to be like, hey, I'm really upset right now, right? Or hey, I'm really panicking right now, or hey, I have a lot of anxiety right now. If you have any of these emotions, or you're like, or maybe you're like bouncing off your seat, right? You're like jittery around, you're like, yeah, I'm winning, right? You're hyped up. Any of these emotions, take a break. That's when you should
Yeah.
take a break. When you feel something, you should be taking a break.
Agreed. You have to trading like that is you have to be very self-aware. I think if you aren't, you're going to struggle, you know, in
Yeah. James,
as
are there
simple as
are there
that.
any like sort of tricks I suppose you use to be able to like be more self-aware of like what's going on in your brain?
That's a good question. I personally, and this is going to sound funny, but I personally speak to my wife about my trading quite often. She can
What
tell me
is
quite quickly.
advice?
Yeah.
More like a
She's
woman.
actually got her honors degree in psychology. So
Yeah.
she can tell me, and also obviously she knows me very well. So she can tell me, am I thinking logically or am I thinking with my emotions? When
Yeah.
I am thinking of my emotions, she actually's got the passwords to my trading accounts and can lock me out. So,
Oh, wow.
not that she does it, but she just tells me, James, pack it up. Like it is what it is. You need to get off the trading desk. Otherwise, you go, you don't, there's a saying, like, I think one of the traders, I don't know if you guys know him, Tom Dante, but he's great on Twitter. He says, if you pop a tire in your car, right, you don't get out and slash the other three. So if you're having a bad if you're having a bad trading day, like, you don't get out and just and start trading more. Like, you don't slash the other three tires because one tire's popped.
Oh my God. That analogy could be so good in so many different things,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's like, you don't need to make it worse,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to, broke up with your girlfriend or something, and you don't go and, insult your mom at the same time too,
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. You don't mess it all up. You just, if one thing's messed up, you don't go mess it all up.
Yeah, what's funny is one of the things, actually, because people do this with like overeating or something, right? Is because a lot of people, they try to lose weight, go to the gym or whatever, and if they have a cheat meal or they mess up or something, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go full blown balls to the wall." So I imagine there are some things where people treat it sort of the same way. Say, "Hey, I didn't follow my macros today, so I guess I'll just eat cake this weekend," sort of thing,
Yeah.
right? It's the same sort of logic as, once you mess up once, hey, fuck it, right? And that sort of logic. You know what though? I do want to say, you really love this woman, because if you really trust her, because I would never give anyone the login to my trading account.
Yeah, no, I trust her. I trust her. I mean, I've got it tattooed on my arm, bro. I have to trust her.
Oh, wow.
Well, you saw it. Remember a couple of months ago when I got it, like, geez, you must really love this woman.
Yeah, maybe I might have forgotten about it, but holy, yeah, that's funny. There's
It is funny, bro.
there,
Yeah, when I do something, I go all for it.
there's kind of a joke of over here in like the Western world, where people get like tattoos of like
Sure.
their wife's name or something like that, and then it's crossed out,
Yeah.
and then they get another one, right?
Oh, that's funny, dude. No, bro, when I do something, I go all for it. So I like, if I like, even with the trading, I think, like, I don't know about you, but like with trading, I know you've been doing this. How many years have you been trading now, Hunter?
I mean, so trading 2017, but I got into Bitcoin in 2013.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, markets. You've been watching markets for quite some
9,
time.
10 years. But
Yeah,
I guess I could argue 13, right?
13. Yeah. So I've been doing it 9 years. Like, when I first got into it, bro, I used to spend, all night watching, videos, doing my own research and stuff like that. And I knew I was going to find a way. It's like this. It's the same in life. I think if you want to be successful, you have to go all out, right?
Yeah, totally. Now sorry, I'm just seeing FOMC is tomorrow. So
Yeah, there is no FOMC. I think is tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
So I'm just seeing this here. So guys, let's
We
actually
do have Trump speaking at 2 p.m. Eastern today.
yeah, let's just Forex Factory. Let's just pull up some stuff here, so you guys are prepared for tomorrow. Trump's speech is this evening.
Yeah, this evening, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Yes,
And
sir.
then a funding rate.
Or is it 11? It's 11 p.m. South African time. So it must be later. It must be 4 p.m. 4 p.m.
So we've got, a near 100% chance that I think there will be no cut.
Sure.
And then the next one is going to be yeah, a little bit higher chance that there's going to be a cut. They are still looking to be cutting rates, which is overall bullish for the market. Now I think they're taking a little bit of a step back, just because there's been so much volatility and craziness lately. So most likely they do keep everything flat as is. If everything's flat, I think FOMC tomorrow is not going to do anything, right? And if by chance they cut it, they're not going to hike it. We know that. If they hike it, it'll be insane chaos. But
yeah.
but it's probably very, very unlikely that it's not going to happen. Okay, if they do cut it, then the markets could be a little bit exuberant. But I don't think anything crazy is going to happen tomorrow. Everything's somewhat already expected, right? Markets are already kind of bullish. I don't think if they cut it, I don't think it's going to crash. If anything, it goes up, right? Um, Probably is going to be a pretty uneventful FOMC tomorrow. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting. FOMC, I actually do quite well on FOMC days. I normally don't trade too heavy before FOMC, and then I actually get in the action afterwards. I know a couple of times we drop down, and then we just rally back up.
Yeah. Well, something interesting actually is many times on FOMC week, I actually see that the market just kind of stays flat, right? From Monday, Tuesday, pretty flat, right? Now, mind you, it is going up this time. Let's look at the Dow. I mean, the Dow has been pretty volatile too. But usually, especially tomorrow, I think tomorrow, nothing's going to happen until FOMC. Usually that's how it goes on the Wednesday of FOMC.
Sure.
It's pretty much might be a couple spikes and then just kind of flat lines.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It will be interesting to see. As you said, I don't think it's going to be too eventful. However, we do have a new Fed chairman being appointed, I think, soon as well.
When is that?
Let me ask ChatGPT. When is Trump announcing?
So as you work on that, somebody asked, why do people work on strategy and not in psychology? Now, that's because the most traders are men. And this is my opinion. Most traders are men, and men have logical brains, and they think, hey, numbers must be the solution to everything. I must find a system that works, right? And they don't realize that, hey, the most important thing is controlling your emotions in trading, because everyone knows a system that works already. Buying and holding. Buying and holding works for sure. So your only goal is to be able to find a way to be better than buying and holding, right?
Sure.
So the best, the first
Sorry? They're announcing it in May.
May. Okay.
Yeah.
So nowhere near now.
Yeah, nowhere near now. Yeah.
We're still pretty good. But
by the way, Hunter, I am going to be in the States in May, so maybe we can meet up.
Where in the States?
I'm going to be in Tampa and then New York.
Wow. Those are places I probably won't go to. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to be in either of those. New York might be an interesting trip just for like a couple days.
Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
We'll talk closer to the day, or if you want to fly over to May is a beautiful time to come over.
Maybe I extend the trip and we come to Vancouver, bro. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we do that.
Yeah, you'd be welcome here. Okay, guys. Let's wrap up the stream here. Do you have anything else you want to talk on?
Maybe we can just speak since everyone wants to speak about the psychology aspect of it.
Yeah.
My just to give you a little bit of motivation or whatever you want to do to end the stream. If you've been struggling recently, I always have a saying to myself. I know it sounds cliche and pretty generic, but you never give up, right? You got to find what's working. If you really want this bad enough, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
Whether you've been passing your Maven accounts, failing them, there's traders that are taking payouts, and you can be that trader as well. So, you got to work on yourself. And again, come to our Tuesday streams. Ask us the questions that you need help with, and we'll be here to answer to the best of our ability. But I hope that you guys have a good rest of the trading day. Remember, it is FOMC tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
I got one more thing just to kind of bounce off that. I remember it was hilarious. I go to my therapist every once in a while here, just bounce ideas or whatever and help me through my life things, right? And I can't remember what the exact situation was, but something may be going on with the girl or something like that. And I was like, all I want to do is like run away or something like that. That was my instinctive reaction sort of thing, right? And he's like, yeah, so how's that been working for you, right? And like just the way that he's like, if you react this way, right, and you keep doing the same patterns, you're gonna get the same thing, right? You know what I mean? And and when it comes to the psychology versus strategy, right? All these traders, every single one of you watching right now, I'm going to say the same thing to you right now. You keep trying to find the strategy that's working. And how's that working for you? Right? Have you found it? No. So maybe don't try to find it anymore. Do something different. Maybe trying to find the strategy is not the thing that makes you profitable, right? Maybe you have to do something completely different. My advice is meditation. But like, because it sounds like it makes no sense, right? It's something you would never think is anything correlated to trading. Do something that has no correlation to trade. Maybe that'll work then. Maybe that's the trick, is not trying to trade.
Maybe not trade as much. Also, another thing, just to leave off with you guys as well. If you're in trading, slash your one tire and you have a loss, don't go and slash the other three and just trade like a muppet.
I love that. I'm going to use that from now on. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. We do this every single Tuesday. Next week, we got Tyler G. He's a futures trader. He's been trading on Maven lately, though. He'd love to give us some advice about his trading style. Winner of the 50K is going to be posted in the Discord. Thanks for watching. Follow both James and I on social media.
Yes, sir.
Ciao, ciao. See you, James.
Yes, guys.